I'm often asked, how can I make a difference? I'm just one person. As a sustainability coordinator, I can come up with all sorts of reasons for you to make a difference, like riding your bike to work, buying in bulk at the grocery store, and not releasing your exotic pet Burmese python into the wild when it gets too big. There are all sorts of things that we can do, and just imagine that you are one of 100, 1,000, or 1,000,000 people doing the same action. Small actions do matter, but there are things that have a greater impact on the planet. I got to thinking about this when I was early in my youth, and I saw pictures of kids that didn't have a family or a house or even a place to live. And then, as a college student, when I was studying environmental education in the 80s, I learned that the Earth has a limited carrying capacity before the intricate balance begins to teeter. So what's up with the Earth's population today? Well, a United Nations Department of Economic and Social Affairs report recently released has our population at 7.3 billion. It's predicted to increase to 8.5 billion by 2030, 9.7 billion by 2050, and over 11 billion by the middle of the century, by the 22nd century. With this number of people, how will this impact our planet? Well, the International Center for Strategic Studies wanted to consider how a planet with 9 billion people by the middle of the century would affect. And, you know, we're going to need more of lots of things like fresh water, more fresh food, housing, and let's be real, enough Legos for all those kids to play with, and slippers for the parents that step on them in the middle of the night, too. Just try and imagine the increased demand on all the resources. You know, as Americans, we love to buy stuff, and we love to throw away stuff. And before you know it, our kids will be snowboarding down a mountain of garbage, and the snow could be made of plastic pellets instead of the real powder that we get up on Mount Hood. Well, that's a global snapshot for you, but what are we seeing closer to home? According to the 2016 U.S. Census, we've got a population of over 323 million in the States. It's estimated that a child is born every 8 seconds. And here in the Portland metro region, our comprehensive plan update, recently adopted by our city council, estimates that over 260,000 more people will arrive here by 2035. That'll bring our population up to about 880,000 in the city. Wow. You know, we're already seeing the growing pains of increased population here. Can't you feel it? More cars on the road, right? Rising rental prices, increased water demands. But you know what, thankfully, in Portland, there'll be enough microbreweries for everybody. Don't have to worry. So what does this mean for us? We can talk about sustainability from the perspective of how far food travels, or what our products are made of, or maybe what kind of toxins are found in our home. But we rarely talk about it from a cultural or family perspective. So what might this mean for living a sustainable lifestyle? One of the things that makes humans unique is language and culture. But I think one of the roadblocks that we have when we're talking about overpopulation is culture. We think it might cause too much tension to talk about the personal aspects that our choices create. We feel it might cause us to be uncomfortable for us to want to wade into the unspoken expectation that you will reproduce. If we were to think of the old advice, think globally while acting locally, how much more local can we get than talking about eggs and sperm? How does this population growth affect our sense of self and culture around us? You know, even for me, coming from a blue-collar family, I felt as if I could achieve the American dream by one day getting a decent job, maybe buying a home, and reproducing those 2.5 children. And being a 21st century career-focused Portland mom, I thought I'd just split that 0.5 kid with another free-range supporting neighbor. They wanted to. It's not just the statistics that need to be revised as we grow, but the way we think about the impact of our behaviors and the way we live our values. I think this is a perfect time for us to start to reconsider our previous paradigms. But how? This is a great opportunity for us to rethink our vision of community. As humans, we do well in community. I mean, we like to do sports together, we have hobbies, a lot of us practice our faith with friends, family, and our social groups. But visualize a world in which we were to reconsider and rethink family and culture and how this might affect the livability of our planet. We can go to World Watch Institute's website to study the 9 population strategies to stop short of 9 billion by the middle of the century. Some of those include providing universal, safe, and effective contraceptive options for all, guaranteeing education through secondary school for both sexes, especially girls, and eradicating gender bias from law, economic opportunity, and education. Well, that's kind of heady stuff of NGOs and international aid workers. Again, somebody asked me, Elaine, what can I do today? Well, there are some things that you can do today, and one of those is the choices you make in creating a family. So, let's talk about sex. Okay, now that I've got your attention, here's some ways that you can make a difference. 1, make a plan for yourself, with your partner, for your future. 2, wait or practice a lot before starting a family. Right? Enjoy being single. Take that trip on your bucket list. Do your dating homework, but please use contraceptives. Yeah. Number 3, do the math. Yikes. Do you know that a married couple, middle income, with 2 kids, is estimated to spend over $233,000 to raise a child born in 2015, according to a U.S. Department of Ag report released in January. And that's just from birth to 17. It doesn't even include college. Yeah. Number 4, make a choice to be child-free. Okay, now some of you may recall this old acronym was around a while ago, DINKS. Not what you're thinking. Dual income, no kids. There's a new one, GINKS. Stands for green inclination, no kids. See, now this one's already being socially normed, so you don't have to feel like a weirdo with this choice. Number 5, make a choice to support a child by being a mentor in some way. You could be an auntie and uncle, a tia or tio, or big brother or big sister. This has a very low commitment, right? You can take the kids to movies, you can go to corn mazes in the fall, maybe take them on a college visit. And all the while, you get to miss out on the late night vomit fests, full-on puberty, and vetting those prom dates. Number 6, you could create your chosen family, right? You know, it's those people that you want in your life that don't all have to be biologically related. It's okay. Those people that you want sitting around the Thanksgiving table in front of a large, juicy tofurkey. 7, consider limiting your child to just one birth child. Now, if you start waffling on this one because you think, oh, I might have the tendency to raise a spoiled kid, well, find those aunties and uncles, plan lots of play dates, and maybe set up an inexpensive rent-a-kid program for your child-free friends. That might work. Number 8, last one, consider adoption. There are many ways that you could adopt via international adoption, domestic adoption, or foster care. Well, I know this list might seem overwhelming to some of you, but you know what? I'm living proof that you can manifest something off of this list, and I want to share briefly how it showed up in my life. When I was a young adult, I'd always kind of considered I might create my family through adoption. Then I met my husband, and you know, we took those trips on the bucket list, and we had a lot of fun. And by the time we got serious about a family, as a mature couple in our late 30s, my eggs were getting pretty tired, and his sperm needed life preservers. So after my husband's common fears about adoption were demystified, we dove headlong into our journey. A brave, thoughtful, pregnant birth mother in our area made it an adoption plan and chose us to parent. Even though we had met her and agreed upon our open adoption plan, we were still floored to get the call a month later that she had gone into labor. And there we were, a day later, with this 5-pound little bundle of joy. And I can still recall crying uncontrollably as we left the hospital, trying to fathom what our birth mother was going through, knowing that she'd made the best decision of her life at that time for herself and her child. And that was really tough. Well, a year later, our child number 2 pro and con list written out and fully vetted by my scientist husband and I, we decided we could dedicate our life to another child. With this international adoption, we were gifted into our life a foster family, a birth family, and a 15-month-old toddler to love. Amazing way to build a family. Yeah. Exhausting? Oh, yeah. Transformative? You betcha. But you know, I wouldn't trade this in for anything different. And things in life that are difficult and hard can be further supported when you've got a great partner and community around you. And something like overpopulation, population growth, can be supported in a community. So for a moment, please close your eyes, take a breath, and consider what you would like for your future with your family. Think about freshwater lakes to swim in, schools that have green spaces to play soccer in, large, mature, majestic trees to gaze up at, and fresh air to breathe. Now open your eyes and look at somebody to your right. Make eye contact with them. Yeah, I know, I love it. Good. Look around the room, feel the love, because you know what? These people are a part of your community. And together, our collective actions can make a big difference on this one planet that we have. So never underestimate the power that your actions can have, one child at a time. Thank you.